You hear them, keep creating alibi. You employ me to do a job, you create alibi, you create excuse for me to fail.
Can it ever change?
I don't know. Maybe if the economic situation bites harder, people will come to understand that they need to put the people they elected on the spot.
But again, I think Chamberlain and I were having a discussion a while ago, and we just realized that if it doesn't affect you, does that mean that you can actually be the change agent? Now we're looking at the politician now. If we say we're in a recession and it doesn't affect you,
yes,
can you look inwards and generally say these are some of the things that we must implement to get us out of this situation?
Of course. If it doesn't affect you, if your constituents don't take you to task, when you get back to your constituency, you don't see a throng of protesters and around your office, and they don't want to see your face, if it doesn't get to that, then really, I mean, what impetus do you have?
So that people can ask questions.
People can ask questions. If they worry the legislators in their constituencies, if the ministers come home to angry protests, then they understand that something is happening there on the streets. That people are dying on the streets. But the way we run the government, the way we kind of cede our destiny to those in power. In fact, I mean, discussing these issues, I will say, okay, the president said, think out of the box. Now, what suggestion do you have for the president? For the person who have been hailing the president, lamponing, okay, the president is that this man that you are praising so much, this man you say you believe in so much, he's asking for a way out. Now, what do you have for him? That is where the lights blow out. You don't hear anybody making, oh, president, you could. They have nothing. They have kind of ceded all their brains to the person that.
Let me ask you, as we are presently structured,
yes,
can we really develop?
That's it. You cannot develop. That's where you're going. Like you see, we'll keep on going in circles. What is happening now is going to repeat itself in another 10, 15 years. Because it's round. The world is round. So we're in a circle. Because fundamentally, we are structured to fail.
What do we need to change?
Now we need to restructure to emphasize productivity.
How?
First of all, we need to, as I said, liquidate the federal structure, the federal government. When I say liquidate, I mean this issue of the states becoming parastatals of the federal government, should stop. There is no state in this country that is not as big as some prosperous countries in the world. Ireland beat England. It's just a country of 300,000 people. And that's about 10% of the least states in this country.
Literacy level notwithstanding?
Literacy, I mean, you have human resources, you have the population. Population is resource. It's all about how you are able to put the population to work. What is the work? That people try to go out there to look for what they will eat legitimately. Just by doing that, the volume of economic activity is increased. That's why you're talking about recession, just that the volume of economic activity has decreased.
But when you walk the streets in different parts, depending on which state you are in, it's only very few states that you could actually see some thinking going on.
Yes.
But you have very intelligent people in this country. You have a lot of them who are even doing things outside the country, including young people and very young people at that. But they can't get into leadership positions in this country.
Yes. I say it's natural. Water flows downhill. Water doesn't flow uphill. Now, if it is easy for me to take over government and make a lot of money, you understand what I'm saying? If that is very easy, I mean, even if I were the best nuclear physicist in the world, if going to run contracts and inflate and get kickbacks and all that is going to ensure for me a better standard of living in a very quick time. How would I do that? In fact, the brain will move naturally towards that because water flows downhill. You understand? So that's what's going on. The people who are attracted to government, who can, have the time for the kind of thing that goes on in government, are people who are motivated for that kind of thing.
Let's get Markwe in on this one. Markwe?
Well, Mr. Wanchuku, I was just thinking, thinking out aloud now. You have advocated, or you are advocating restructuring. Can we really restructure where we are currently? Because I'm thinking of, how that would that adversely affect people, or, the populace who are already groaning, or, is this the best time to actually do what it is that we ought to have done some time back?
Yes, that's a very good question. Now, I feel that the political climate has a lot to do with the economic climate. You have to understand the relationship between the political climate and the economic climate. A political climate that generates tension, generates hostility, is not a climate that will bring about economic prosperity. Now, how did we get here? We're having restiveness in the Niger Delta. What's it about? Is it an economic issue or a political issue? There was, before the government came in place, there was relative peace in that place. But the government that is in place now is not disposed to whatever was in place before. And that government provoked fresh hostilities that now cut into our revenue. So we're having this problem. And I say, look, now the government has come up and say, we want emergency economic powers to get the contract of recession. Now, it's just the petroleum industry bill has been there for going to almost a decade now, been lying down there, not passed. Just by passing that bill, you can ease a lot of the tension in the Niger Delta. It won't cost you anything. You're not going to spend any money. You're not wasting one bullet. You're not wasting one life. But just pass that bill that guarantees for the oil-producing communities a percentage of the revenue. You are not willing to do that. This government is not willing to consider it at all. But the government is willing to spend every kobo Nigeria has to fight militants in the Niger Delta. And then expect that a foreign investor would come into this kind of conflict-ridden environment and leave his money on a permanent basis. That's the thing.
Was that the kind of political restructuring that you were advocating? One would have thought that you were seeking more autonomy for the states.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm seeking for more autonomy, but I'm just trying to say that if you just came out now, I've asked myself, things that if I were a foreign investor, I had about $10 million, and I'm thinking of buying a business in Nigeria, $10 million in my pocket. When will I be willing to drop that money? I haven't. Now, if the government should come and say, look, right now, we're feeling that the present political structure is causing too much tension and leading to too much wastage. We are putting in place a program that in so number of years, we will have achieved restructuring. Would I now be willing to drop that money? Would I have faith in the long term? Long-term survival and prosperity of this nation. If the government should come up now and say, look, too much tension, I'm holding Nnamdi Kanu, I'm having problem with IPOB, I'm having problem with all these people. Let me let this guy go. And I call these people together and I say, look, people, let's forget this whole thing. Let's live in peace. I love you. You may think I don't love you, but I love you. Now, I'll do this, I'll do that for you. Now, with my $10 million, will I believe in it? Will I drop it? Will I be more motivated? Will I have more faith in the country? If the president should come up now and say, look, we want to pass the petroleum industry bill, that will give the oil communities 10% of oil revenue, because we know that we are taking assets from them. Even they are laying pipes, people are blowing pipes. Why don't people blow pipes? You're taking their lands, the pipes prevent them from using their lands. It's an economic asset. How much did you pay for it? You took asset from the people. How much did you pay them? You understand what I'm saying? But petroleum industry bill will ensure that they continue to get something for their asset that you've taken. Now I would say, would I drop that $10 million? This is what is happening. Capital is leaving the country. People are not willing to come. People are not willing to invest. Even Nigerians are not willing to invest. That's the meaning of recession. So these are political things that could come in. So when we talk about restructuring, just by announcing it, just by talking about it, just by saying we are setting up procedures for it, you can ease a lot of tension.
All right, let's take a quick moment. We'll be back afterwards. Join us again.